Modern humans are strangely obsessed with tiny, remote cabins. We spend enormous amounts of money and time dreaming about escaping to small wooden shelters completely cut off from the rest of the world. Objectively, these structures are often incredibly inconvenient. They're small, cold, isolated, and lacking basic modern comforts like fast internet. Yet people describe them using deeply emotional language: peaceful, healing, freeing. This creates a bizarre contradiction. We have spent centuries building massive, climate-controlled cities to conquer nature. Why does returning to a primitive shelter hold such intense psychological power over us? The remote cabin functions as a psychological exit ramp from the high-pressure environment we have built for ourselves. For most of human history, the boundary between us and the natural world was incredibly thin. We lived directly exposed to the natural environment, where the seasons, the weather, and the darkness dictated our daily lives. Then we moved indoors. We replaced sunlight with artificial lighting, the horizon with screens, and natural quiet with the constant hum of traffic and algorithms. We separated our bodies from environmental rhythms almost completely. Living in these highly artificial conditions forces the brain into a state of constant alertness. Without the natural lulls of the wilderness, we experience a form of environmental exhaustion. The widespread fantasy of fleeing to the woods reflects the scale of this fatigue. The cabin is a reach for a setting that finally allows the nervous system to rest. Cabins offer an immediate antidote by physically enforcing a stark boundary. On one side, a chaotic wilderness. On the other, a highly controlled, warm interior. To understand why this feels comforting, look at this diagram illustrating prospect and refuge theory. Evolution wires us to seek physical protection while safely observing outside threats. This explains why watching blizzards from inside feels powerful. The outside is dramatic, but you remain protected. The cabin aligns with these biological requirements by placing us at the exact intersection of visible threat and physical protection. Beyond the structure itself, the materials of a cabin play a crucial role. Modern digital environments are smooth, ageless, and artificial. A cabin is built from wood and stone, tactile materials that age, weather, and degrade. Entering a remote space built of physical, earthy materials initiates a process of sensory decompression. When you strip away complex decision-making and rapid digital stimuli, the nervous system begins to soften. The brain no longer has to process thousands of micro-interruptions a minute. The remote cabin functions as a psychological decompression chamber. Simple sensory inputs, the wind through the trees, the sound of birdsong, or rain on the roof, regain their emotional resonance. At the very center of almost every single cabin fantasy is a profoundly mesmerizing element: the indoor fire. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans relied on fire for survival. It meant warmth, food, and crucial protection from predators after the sun went down. Our brains are hardwired to associate flickering light and heat with safety. A wood stove burning inside a dark shelter recreates this ancient environment exactly. The nervous system instantly recognizes the setup of a controlled fire holding back the dark wilderness. Very few people actually want permanent total isolation. What they crave is a temporary reset. This is the pursuit of controlled solitude, a way to step away from the crushing expectations of society without permanently severing human connection. The cabin triggers an evolutionary regression. It returns us to our primal state of security, sitting by a warm fire, temporarily safe from the demands of the pack. Modern society operates as an ecosystem of relentless optimization. It demands constant productivity, performative achievement, and endless availability. Cabin life dictates the exact opposite. Existence there is reduced to a handful of simple tasks: waking up, making coffee, observing the weather, and simply resting. For the exhausted modern worker, spending time in an environment where there is absolutely no expectation to produce, respond, or perform is a profoundly freeing experience. Romanticizing the cabin is an emotional rebellion. It is a clear rejection of modern performance culture and a deep desire for a life that is unoptimized and simply lived. This widespread longing for a simple shelter in the woods stems from a biological craving for a specific set of sensory inputs. It is the craving to have our daily rhythms dictated once again by natural elements, by the rising sun, the falling snow, and the physical world, instead of by exhausting artificial systems. In this way, the cabin serves as an anchor. It reminds an overworked nervous system of what true, grounded calm actually feels like. The desire for a tiny shelter in the wilderness is the expression of a timeless need. It is the ancient human necessity to feel small, safe, and completely protected inside a chaotic world.
For more content like this, like and subscribe to our channel.